I look like a hot mess because I literally just woke up like 2 minutes ago. But it is about 4:50 in the morning, and it is Wednesday. Like, don't even know what day it is. Wednesday, October 16th, and it's induction day. So I just called the hospital to confirm that we were still on for our 6 a.m. Check-in time, and they said, yep, come on in. So I'm gonna start getting ready and go wake up Colin. I just called my mom and told her that we're still on so that she can leave and get here in time for us to leave. So crazy stuff. But yeah, here it goes. I'm in the hospital. I'm in the hopsicle. It's about 7 a.m. I just got my IV and I'm just hanging out, waiting for people to come in and talk. There's Dad.
What?
I said, there's Dad. What time is it? It's weird they would put a clock all the way up. Like, why wouldn't the clock be over there? Where, like, I could see it. I'm not gonna crane my neck every time. Okay, so what? I probably had that about 8:15. Cytotech. It's just this tiny little tablet. I'm looking at you, but I'm talking to this. Okay. And yeah, so 8:15. We'll see. Apparently there's 6 doses, but they don't think I'll take all 6 of them. They said that I've been having some contractions already, but I haven't felt them. They're seeing them on the monitor, but I don't feel anything, so we'll see. Okay, it is a little after 2:30 and nothing has happened, so, well, I shouldn't say nothing has happened, but I haven't recorded or anything since then. Dad's out getting me a snack at the cafe because they're about to move me into a different room, like the actual labor room, so that, well, I'll catch up. So I came in, they gave me Cytotech, an oral tablet that I can take at 8:15, 10:15, and about 12:30. And that hasn't really done anything at all. I have felt, I mean, I shouldn't say it hasn't done anything. It's obviously done something because there's been changes, but I haven't felt anything significant. They said I've been having contractions ever since probably about, I don't know, 9-ish, and it's 2:30. But I haven't really felt any of them. So we've really just been like sitting here. I mean, it was kind of nice. Like, we've been able to sleep and just rest. So I'm thankful for that in a way, that even though part of me is like bummed that nothing happened faster, I'm also kind of grateful that I was able to just, like, I've taken a lot of little cat naps and I feel really rested, considering I stayed up kind of late last night just finishing things, and I was, you know, I didn't sleep well knowing that this was happening today, and got up at 4:45 to get ready. So I really only got about 4.5 hours of sleep last night, but now I've been able to catch up, so I feel very rested and kind of more like focused and refreshed. So I'm actually okay that it's taken longer than planned. But the doctor just came in and checked me and said I was at about 4 centimeters dilated. So I am happy to hear that too, because of course every centimeter closer to 10 is good. And yeah, so now they want me to switch rooms though, because they want me to get started on Pitocin, which I was really kind of hoping to avoid. I didn't want any extra meds or anything, but it is what it is, and that's just part of the induction process sometimes. So Pitocin is coming for me in a little bit here, and that will probably pick things up. We will see. Okay, it is about 5:15 and and I have been on Pitocin for maybe an hour and a half. It's 5:15. I think I've been on it since 4 o'clock. But I am having contractions, so that's cool. Things are moving along. So, beep, beep, beep. And then I've been moving around a bunch. But yeah, things are going well. I think I'm up to 8 on the Pitocin drip. Whoa, that's really bad video. I'm up to an 8. And I think they go up to 20, so I'm at an 8 out of a 20, and we'll see. I am feeling some contractions, but they're really minimal, and they're only on like my lower right side. So for now, it's just like it kind of just feels like a stomach ache, but I know that that's what they are now because I've done this before. But yeah, we're just hanging out and waiting for things to continue. So they broke my water at about 9:30. She said I was like 3.5 centimeters.
Yeah, so you're kind of bouncing back and forth between dilating a little bit more and a little bit less.
But yeah, they broke my water. When they broke my water with Isla, I couldn't feel it because I had an epidural. So this was really interesting. Definitely just felt like I was just peeing and peeing and peeing and couldn't stop.
It looked like she was too.
Like, hold it up. Good Lord.
Oh, sorry. Turkey neck, you know.
You're gonna have to get better at this. But now I can feel the contractions a lot more. So I'm getting ready. I have my headphones in. And I have my essential oils that I'll probably start using soon.
Contractions were very small, and as you can see, they're a lot larger now. They were like down here before. So,
but yeah, that's all. So 9:30. Well, now it's about 9:45. But she said I can get up in like 5 minutes and move, which is good because I don't want to sit in the bed the whole time, and I also don't like this position that I'm even sitting in right now. So I'm excited to just get up and move and kind of, yeah, bounce on the ball. You're losing me. And do my thing, and kind of hoping that things will. I mean, I'm like nervous because I know things are gonna pick up, but also excited because I really kind of want this baby out by midnight, like born on the 16th, and I think I can do it. So let's go.
I'm confident in her. She's a rock star. She's ready to roll. Baby boy, we're excited to meet you.
Excited.
It is now 10:02. Things are starting to pick up a little bit. So we're just kind of here working together to work through everything, and Mom's doing a great job being a rock star. So we'll check in again in a little bit. Bye. It's now 10:42. We're kind of plugging away still a little bit here. Mama's not feeling great, but she's doing her thing, doing what she's got to do. Getting a little peppermint in. Listening to her music or breathing stuff. So that's our check-in for right now. It's 10:42, and hopefully this gets rolling. It is now about 11:15. Mama Bear's hanging in there. She's kind of feeling it now. But she's being a rock star and a trooper and working through all that pain. Just waiting to see her little guy. So come on, little boy, let's get moving here. Help Mom out.
So I just wanted to take a minute to recap how quickly, in my mind at least, how quickly things progressed since my water broke. So all day long, you know, nothing had happened. Like, it was the most boring day ever. It was exciting and boring at the same time because we were just like, when is something gonna happen? Like I was like praying for a contraction, like a good big one, and nothing happened. And they'd keep checking on me and I'd be like, no, I feel nothing. And they're like, well, you're getting little ones. I'm like, yeah, I feel them. They're like tiny cramps. It's nothing. So yes, water broken at 9:30. And then as you can see in this video before this, it was 11:15 and I was definitely in labor finally. But after that, so from like 11:15 to 11:30, things went from 0 to 100, and I started getting really nauseous, which I didn't mind. Like it was very bothersome, of course, and it's uncomfortable, but I never threw up. I was like excited in a way that I was nauseous because I know that that means like transition is coming / happening. Things are most likely progressing down south, and I knew that we were getting somewhere. Like it was a good sign for everybody, but miserable nonetheless. And I wish, looking back, so I had been prescribed, I had Zofran with me, and I wish I would have taken one, and I even said so when my water broke. I was like, I should take a Zofran, and my husband was kind of like, yeah, like, maybe let's just hold off, and I agreed with them, and I just, you know, then I thought nothing more of it until I was nauseous, and then at that point, it was like, I don't even, like, I almost thought it was too late, and I think, I don't know, it just didn't cross my mind to, like, take one at that moment. So I think that maybe would have helped, but it is what it is. So by 11:30, I definitely had like the angel and the devil on my shoulders saying, you know, like part of me was like, women have been doing this for centuries. Like you can do it all natural. Like you do not need this epidural. Like you can do it. You planned for this. This is what you wanted. And then the other side of me was like, fuck that. It's 2019. This thing's available. I'm gonna take it because I knew how relaxed I would be. Like, labor is not supposed to be enjoyable, but it can be, like, it can be in a way. And I wanted it to be. Like, I really wanted this to be like a very positive birth. Oh, sorry, buddy. His nook fell out. I really wanted it to be like a positive experience, and it was. Like looking back, it still was. It was very, very positive the entire time, even with kind of this miserable moment here. And I knew that it would help me relax, and it would help me like remember and live in the moment. And so ultimately I decided to get the epidural, but I just had this gut feeling that when I asked for it, I had a feeling there would be a problem, and I didn't really know what that would be, but I just had a feeling there would be a problem. And so sure enough, I asked for the epidural, and the nurses come back and they're like, so there's a trauma in the ER and the anesthesiologist is gonna be a while, like there's a big delay. And I was like, son of a bitch, like I knew it. I knew that I was gonna ask for this epidural and I would not be able to get it upon request. And they didn't know if it was gonna be half an hour, 1 hour, more, less, like we had no idea. And I just, in my mind, was like, you know what? I just need to take this one contraction at a time. I may not get this epidural. And I could tell, like, things, I mean, in my body, things were progressing. Like these were even, I don't want to say worse, but even more intense contractions than I felt with Isla. And these were more intense than I had ever felt, you know, in my life. And I was like, no, shit's going down. Like, this is some serious baby moving. And so there was definitely like a moment there where I had like a come to Jesus in myself that, like, you may have this baby, you may not get the epidural, and you may need to like do this all the way that you planned, whether you wanted to now or not. and the only thing I could do was just go like so deep inside myself, like in my head. I wasn't talking to anybody at this point. I was doing minimal talking. I was trying very hard to be polite because it's not the nurse's fault, you know, and they were great. My husband was so supportive. Like, he was just doing like gentle touching and like still like trying to rub my back and my hips and like help me like loosen my shoulders and you know, just try and like lessen the tension that I was feeling. And that was a huge help. Like, he was so great doing that. And then I just like went really deep. Like, I would rarely open my eyes, maybe in between a contraction here and there, but I just spent a lot of time just sitting there like every contraction. Thankfully, they were all like super consistent, and every contraction I got like 3 deep breaths, and then I would throw in a 4th to finish it off for good measure. But I just knew that, okay, it's coming. I'm gonna take 3 deep breaths and then it's gonna be over, and it would. And so that really helped pass, like figuring out how many deep breaths I needed to take to get through it, and then knowing that I just needed to get to 3. 3 is not that many. And so I just needed to get to 3 deep breaths, and then it would be over and it would start to come down. And I did that. And then I'm not entirely sure what time the anesthesiologist got into the room, but he came much faster than we expected. And that was great. And I've watched women get epidurals before, like whether, and they, a lot, some of them do great, and then others that I've watched, like in videos is what I'm saying, not in real life, they are in a lot of pain and they squirm a whole lot, and it's really hard to get that epidural in. And with both labors, I knew that I did not want that. I wanted the epidural like immediately. So I was like, I'm gonna hold so still and get this. And I did, because I just figured the more I can hold still, the faster he can just get it in. Like, if I don't move and squirm, and it's painless. Like, both times this epidural was great. And I was really afraid to get epidurals prior to, like, leading up to my first pregnancy. I just had heard like negative experiences with it, and I didn't want that. I didn't want to, have pain in my back or something. So I just tried really hard to sit still, and I've had good experiences now. I'm 2 for 2 with an epidural. But I will say, so I got that epidural at 12:03 a.m. and it never fully got to kick in. So I don't know the logistics on an epidural. I don't know like how they really work as far as like administering the medication, but I do know that by the time I was having the baby, they were like, well, this was kind of pointless, like we're just gonna shut it off. And it never really kicked in. It kicked in enough to help alleviate like the sharpness of contractions and that like intense pain that I would feel, but it never took away the pressure. Like, I felt a lot of things. I could move my legs. I could feel the baby coming down. I could feel when they were checking me. And I actually kind of liked that. Like, I liked that it really never had a chance to kick in. Granted, that's going to be like $2,000 that I still am going to have to pay, whether it works or not. So that's shitty, but I at least kind of got to, like, I wasn't completely numb, and I liked that. I liked that I could really, like, feel my birth still. So then the doctors came in at about 12:30, and they did a check just to see where I was at, and she said, you're at an 8, maybe a 9, and she asked if I would give like a tiny little push just to see what would happen. So I gave a tiny little push, and she was like, oh, I can feel the head, like it's coming. And I was like, no, I can feel the head, like I can feel something moving down. And she was like, okay. well, we're going to get set up, like chop everybody. And so things just kind of moved really fast after that. And everybody got set up, and then it was time to push.
This baby. I said you gotta come see this baby. She wants to say hello.
Sister.
It says promoted to big sister 2019.
What?
Hey! What does that mean?
You could.
What does that mean? Huh? What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm gonna be a big sister?
You just found out today?
No, last Friday.
You had to do another week's worth?
Yep. Hi, bud.
And what you can even do is kind of curl around your legs a little bit. Yeah, will you? Beautiful. Yeah, just like that. Keep going, keep going. Nice job. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Very nice job. And when you need to, you can change your ear again. And then the same thing again. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Beautiful. Nice job.
Awesome.
Okay, that's really good.
Call Audrey the
Okay, we're just
Right now, I feel
pressure. Right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling pressure.
Yeah, I mean that baby's low.
Yeah, you can push. Pushing
Yep.
kind of push into your bubble. Look at that. Push into it there. Would you like this? Would you rather be on this side?
That's fine. Good job. Keep pushing.
Good job.
I think.
Do you still feeling that contraction?
No, I don't think so. The pressure's kind of worn off.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's only been on for a couple minutes.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, then we checked her, she was complete and
Oh my goodness.
she was, foiled the plan of a 2-hour nap.
Right.
Just push that back a little bit.
You got so far. I bet you were nearly complete when they put the epidural in.
I would have been surprised if they said I was far less along, because I was like,
Yeah.
I'm so nauseous, like
Yeah.
I know that stuff is happening. And for a little while then I started to think, if this guy doesn't come in time, I'm going to just have the baby without it. And it is what it is. So
Baby's feeling that squeeze.
Oh, yeah.
Nice job, nice and strong. Good job. Keep going, keep going.
Keep pushing, keep pushing,
Just like
keep
that,
pushing.
just
Great,
like
yes,
that.
perfect. Keep going.
Yep, you remember perfectly.
push,
Keep
push,
going,
push.
keep going, keep going. A little bit more.
Good.
Strong.
Just like
Keep going,
that.
keep going, keep going. Keep
Just
going.
like that, just like that. Good, good.
Good job.
Just right there. Good.
Okay.
We'll wait for them.
Good job.
Feel one.
I do feel some pressure.
Okay. Nice job. Keep going, keep going, keep going,
Push,
keep
push,
going.
push,
keep
push,
going.
push.
that.
Yes, keep going.
Good.
Yes, yes,
Just
yes.
like that. Just like
And when
that.
you need to change your
Awesome
same
job.
Yes.
Good.
Keep going.
Just like that.
Push, 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 push.
Good, mama.
thing.
Just like that. Just like that.
Nice job.
Good.
Good.
Just like that. Just like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
One more here.
It's a big push.
Congratulations. Be careful with that circle. I'll show you. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Hi. Hey, little guy.
You may be able to pull your baby up a little bit more. I think you've got a little more cord.
Hi.
Alright, definitely a boy.
I
He's
know.
not a little guy.
I know, I'm very interested to see what he weighs.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you're good. Alright.
Alright.
So we're just gonna clamp the cord.
Can I just take your...
Dad, I'm gonna give you some scissors to hang on to.
Can I like go higher? Take it so you run a side now?
It's okay.
How am I down
Kind
here?
of coughing it out.
We haven't taken a look yet. Baby did kind of pop out a little.
Okay,
So
yeah.
you may have a small tear, but
Okay.
just something we can't put back together.
So the scissors here? Perfect.
So I'll have you come correct.
Get him a little bit. Yeah. Turn it sideways. Oh, look at him. Yeah. I know. Yeah. Yeah. I think you waved a little. Look at me.
You actually read what it is, so it'll be.
Isla. Isla. Oh my goodness. Hi, big girl. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm gonna cry. How did you do that? Like, when I walked into the room, I want to bawl my eyes out. Oh, hi, big girl. Hi. You do look like a big potato now. Yeah.
Don't they look? They went from being small to huge.
Yeah.
What did you get mommy?
Oh,
In the
pretty.
store?